there's a big transparency or trust issue within the not only current banking system but anything you go to, even in medical field or even in real estate, right? Tampering of data is the biggest problem we see as of now in any field you go. I did my schooling from Nasik in Maharashtra, did my post graduation and graduation from Pune itself. Right. From there, to start my career, I got into logistics. I joined as a software developer with DHL, DHL, Gosselin, and other freight forwarders. Post that, I started working with Visa and Silicon Valley Bank. I got into fintech industry where the actual cream of software development is, right? And I did spend good amount of my time to actually understand how a centralized financial industry of the world works, right? So I was a lead developer over there. I was working for payments processing for US banking system. Post that, that is when the entire Ethereum blockchain, the boom came, right? It was somewhere around, so the crypto industry started long time ago, right? But blockchain development, the actual development rules, the boom we got to know late 2019 to 2020. So at that time, I wanted to actually understand how this decentralized platforms actually work and how they might be useful to change the world, right? So then I started learning about it, understanding the programming languages that go into development of certain blockchains, right? Started learning Rust as a programming language, and then got into Solana blockchain development. I'm currently working on Solana blockchain, right? And it's been 2 years now. My current role is a lead Solana developer, and I work on DeFi platforms. So basically, we are building compliance on the chain to bring in more trust and more transparency to the current blockchain decentralized financing system. So these are two different words, right? Blockchain and development, of course. So blockchain is nothing but a decentralized digital ledger on a very layman's term, I will say, right? So when you look at the actual architecture of a blockchain, it's nothing but data blocks connected to each other with a specific address. It's a linked list, right? In a pure technical, if I use a pure technical words, it's a linked list where blocks are connected to each other, and the block behind knows the address of the block in front of you, right? And blockchain is basically, and all of these chains, this linked lists are then synchronized within the particular environment. That's basically blockchain for you on a very simple example, right? So we store data in these blocks, and to create a block, you need to be a part of the node. And whenever you create a node, you'll get incentivized based. That is called mining. Blockchain development is basically creating an environment of applications to on that particular platform. For an example, the basic example is writing a smart contract, right? A contract which executes a business logic on the chain, right? So the main primary role of a blockchain developer is to design and write smart contracts which can be deployed onto the chain and executes a very simple executes a business logic. Simple as that. For an example, transferring one crypto token from one person to another based on certain business logic. An escrow account, and it's basically, if you look at current banking system, there are escrow accounts, right? An escrow account can be implemented as a program or a code onto the blockchain, and instead of bank being handling all of that, it's basically a simple smart contract or a program that takes care of transferring these tokens from A to B. So that's all of that comes under blockchain development. So an aspirant should first actually study blockchain, irrespective about the chain he wants to work on. When I say chain, It could be Ethereum, it could be Solana, it could be ADA, it could be any chain in the market, Polygon as well. First, understand the basic working principles of blockchains, right? Understand what are the benefits of each of these chains. Each of these chains have their own pretty nice market share, right? Why they have that market share, what kind of applications are built on those particular chains. Decide which one you're more interested in. Ethereum, it could be Ethereum, it could be Solana, right? Solana is way too fast. Ethereum has a huge ecosystem, right? So you could decide. That is how I decided, right? Then shortlist the particular chain, understand its underlying technology, how that particular blockchain works, what are the programming languages you need to learn to actually work on that particular platform, study that programming languages, and then you can take your career towards that path. Development in Solana is, in terms of career, Solana, it's not only Solana, but because Solana is built on Rust, right? The development career path of Rust is pretty nice. Actually, it's one of the fastest growing programming languages in the world. It has a pretty steep learning curve, but it's great. So the career trajectory is really good. A lot of opportunities, not only in India, but in US, South Korea, and the UK as well. And many of those opportunities are basically remote. So you can basically work from India, work from anywhere. And yeah, it's pretty nice. So actually, we have a lot of people who come from non-tech backgrounds but have done remarkable in software development. But as I said, right, there's a pretty steep learning curve, right? They need to start all the way from understanding what decentralized computing is, right? So decentralized computing is something what we were taught in our second year of engineering as basics, right? So from there, understanding how technology works, how programming languages were built, starting from the basic programming language, starting from C, C++, Java. And then, so once you have an understanding about that is when you can actually apply for jobs. But then before applying for jobs for a non-techie, right, they have to actually have a lot of public contribution towards repositories on GitHub, to be very precise, right? It's not only for non-techies, for techies as well. People who have more contributions on public repositories, public code basis, right, have more exposure towards this and have more chances of getting jobs in this field, right? Even for non-techies, to showcase their skills that yeah, we have actually understood what technology is and we can actually code, there needs to be a good amount of public contribution to public repositories. To become a blockchain developer, you don't need masters. I have a lot of people in my team who have not done their master's degrees, right? And they are contributing amazingly. They are very important part of a team, right? Even if you want to do masters, dive deeper full time. Masters basically have to do full time, right? Dive deeper into that. Then I think there are a lot of courses offered by IIT Hyderabad, I guess. I'm not sure about a lot of courses, but there are some courses offered by IIT Hyderabad and IIM Bangalore as well, I think so. Going abroad specifically to learn blockchain is not required. India has a very good platform. India is a very good platform to understand this tech. So I don't think it's necessary for a person to spend so much amount of capital to actually go abroad and understand blockchain, which anyone can understand in India as well. It's basic concepts, right? So I don't think that's required at all. Yeah. Apart from DeFi, I find the medical industry to be something which is great to implement many use cases of blockchain. Given a real world problem, right? When you go to a doctor, the first question he asks is, what is your medical history, right? You being yourself, you know about yourself, but you do not know your entire medical history, because throughout your lifespan you have visited a lot of doctors, right? The medicines which they have prescribed, the diagnosis which they have done, it's clearly not possible to remember, and it's clearly not possible to hold a single file of everything, right? And I think there's this company called as MediChain, which is actually solving that problem. They are creating a platform where your entire medical history, right, distributed in private part and the public part, right? A public part of the medical history could be something which you define, could be completely available to the public, and private parts are basically the surgeries that you went through, or something which you're not comfortable showing them to the public, right? They're dividing that particular history in that part, and then based on and using a smartphone, you can give the doctor that access to the entire medical history, right? So they're building that, and that particular use case is something which I really liked, because that's a problem which I face every time I go to a doctor and say, what is your medical history? I say, I don't remember. So yeah, it's a pretty important thing, and it solves a big problem to the doctors as well. It helps them diagnose issues properly, because if you look at the current, there was a statistics which I read. There were major issues in doctors' diagnosis because the doctor actually did not know the patient's medical history. Right? So it solves a big problem, and that's a pretty good use case to solve.